The mainstream, lamestream, going extinct dinosaur media is trying to find somebody to blame for Supergirl's super flop status. So who's it going to be? James Gunn, the director? Well, one thing's for sure, it's not women. Except it is. Ladies and gentlemen, what if we told you that it's the ladies who said, no, we're not going to go see this film. It was abandoned by them and one other group that just might shock you. Misogyny, they say. That's why Supergirl is flopping that way. But no, Gray Lady, that's not the case at all. We'll explain. Folks, click that like button, subscribe, and share this sucker out all across the fruited plains of YouTube. There's no doubt this is the kind of video people need to see. Supergirl is a super failure, and now they're claiming it's the guys who caused it. New York Times blaming misogyny. And the fans for Supergirl flop after disastrous opening weekend. This is hosted by Fox News. We would read the Gray Lady. We'd put the New York Times up, but it's behind a paywall. Instead, let's just have the five talk about it for a second.
The new Supergirl movie is getting super trashed by critics. The summer flick that opens this weekend is tracking for around a $200 million loss, and the reviews are kryptonite. Variety said it was, quote, so flat, it's super horrendous, and has the worst script ever. Some say that woke remarks from the movie star, Millie Alcock, have hurt sales like Supergirl is by.
I think that what makes this film so beautiful is that it's not centered around a man. It's not centered around love at all, if anything. But it should probably go both ways.
Listen, misogyny is what the New York Times is saying. Fox News is mocking these people. Paul Tassi is joining in from Forbes. He says, what went wrong with Supergirl? Critical audience and box office disaster. Now, Paul is a little bit more covert in how he's doing this. But if we read it, it says there is absolutely zero way to spin the performance of Supergirl over the weekend. The film coming in below even not great expectations. Made $38 million. That's been dropped to $37, which I am very sad about because I had predicted 38, which meant I was right. 37 means I'm over the number. Less than a third of Superman, below all-time horrors like Morbius. It is a rarely rotten 56% Rotten Tomatoes critic score, B- on the cinema score, yada, yada, yada. So here are the reasons that things went wrong. It says picking Supergirl as the second film, that was wrong. Director Craig Gillespie takes most of this blame from Forbes, says if there's one person at the root of why the actual film is bad, not necessarily the decision to get there, it is director Craig Gillespie. But look how they talk about the writer, Anna Nogueira. Look how they handle this, okay? Now, this is the lady who, she does not have the kind of portfolio that you would anticipate for a Supergirl writer. Here's how Paul Tassi handles it. She reportedly impressed James Gunn with her Supergirl script so much she's now working on both Wonder Woman and Teen Titans, which, folks, I'm going to tell you, might not come to be. Her take on Tom King's Woman of Tomorrow comic story may not be full of terrible dialogue. Yes, it is. But its structure, combined with the directing, get that, Gillespie. Where you at? Get them. Get you that, Gillespie. Combined with the directing is certainly something that didn't work well here. It does not help that in interviews she actively states things about the comic that simply aren't true. A fantastic script could have helped save this film, but a passable one didn't cut it. That is the worst that Paul Tassi will do. Just like the New York Times, he saves it all for the dudes. James Gunn takes the huge hit here as he deserves it, but it's a passable script. No, it's not. It's terrible. It's awful. And they're ignoring the most important thing that you have to know, ladies and gentlemen. You need to know this, because if you don't know this, then you don't know the reality of what's happening across the culture. That part place, I'm the author. Supergirl failed with surprising audience groups. American women and Chinese audiences abandoned Millie. Oh, Millie. The girls didn't go see Supergirl. That's the story here. If we go down, China, once one of Hollywood's most important rescue markets, appears to have been almost irrelevant. China is reported at opening at 1 million. For IMAX, it was only 250,000. We've heard it's even less than the million. Then guess what? The international market's only 30 million overseas, but the second failure may be even more damaging from a branding perspective. American women, particularly younger women, did not show up in force. I would say they just didn't show up. According to Box Office Pro's domestic demographic breakdown, men over 25 represented the largest audience segment at 41% of ticket sales. Women under 25, this would be the Wonder Woman crew, right? This is who Millie's supposed to be pulling in. She don't need no man. Women under 25. Arguably one of the most important target demographics for Supergirl. Only 15% of the audience. 59% of the opening weekend audience was male. 65% was over 25. Women are the reason Supergirl failed. But Lauren, they don't want to say that. They can't say that. They can't admit that. Angry Joe is not going to come out and say, it was the women. The women stopped us this time. They didn't listen to your boy. They didn't listen to your boy. Sorry, it's a bad impression, I know. But Lauren, this is completely opposed to what they want people to believe. They're blaming the men. Women didn't go see it. Women don't care about this Supergirl.
No, and I mean, for those comic book shops that still exist, when is the last time that you walked into one and saw it teeming with women? Not to mention the fact that Millie Alcock was absolutely obnoxious during the entire PR slate for this movie. She drove what audience might have been interested away. And finally, people are allowed to not like things. You can keep screaming misogynist all you want, but we are actually allowed to decide, you know what? I'm not interested. This isn't for me. I have no interest in it. You're not entitled to my money. I'm not going to go. And that doesn't mean we're misogynistic. It just means you're not producing a product we want. And as consumers, we're not required to give you our money if you're not producing what we want. End of story.
Andy, yet Paul Tassi and the rest, they are not going to address this issue. They're not going to come out and say women refused to see the film. They've got what went wrong. They've got the full list. They don't say this had no connection with women. Women don't care. Lauren's exactly right. They keep aiming for the wrong demographics. This is a movie all about battling the patriarchy, and the patriarchy, for whatever that might be, did not let this down. It was the matriarchy that stayed home.
If they would make a superhero version of The Notebook, they might have a chance. My son and I went to see this, and
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I
saw it too.
I keep waiting for somebody to tell me where the great parts of the script were, because all I see is a James Gunn saying that he's not going to proceed until the script is 100% locked down. If this is his idea of 100% lockdown, he doesn't just deserve to be fired. He needs to be fired immediately, especially if he put this girl in charge of 2 other movies to flesh out her credits or whatever. I don't see it. I was very bored through the movie. There were a couple of things that I thought were okay. I could have done without, as I didn't keep count, but Gary reminded me that she actually vomited 6 times. You have one bathroom scene.
What a nut.
She pees on camera. She eats stuff she eats stuff that comes out of the back end of a bug.
At least she brushed her teeth once.
This is
she did. You're right.
That's her idea. Now,
no, I didn't watch this movie. I didn't have time, and I didn't want to punish myself, so I didn't go. She vomits 6 times in the course of the movie, like that. I mean, even Joss Whedon punching Thor out of frame, he only does that twice in Avengers. Is it story driven? Is there some narrative consequence to her puking?
Yes, she's trying to get rid of a poison that's inside of her, so she has to vomit in the face of her enemy.
And the other one was just been from being hungover from her 23rd birthday party.
It happens, especially when you're not in a yellow sun. Unless it's the first Superman movie, in which case she was drunk in a yellow sun. But hey, who cares about continuity or logic here, right?
But there's no arc. She starts off in this spot, and then she ends up in the same spot, only sobering up for now. And she's gonna hang out with Clark more. The Lobo parts seemed to me that they were edited in afterwards. It didn't seem like it was actually part of the story. It kind of broke the vibe of things. Momoa's portrayal of Lobo, which I was really looking forward to, was somewhat a letdown for me. He did a good job, a decent job at it, but it wasn't the portrayal that I was expecting. In an age where we're looking at Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, do we really need messy girls on screen? And you want women, our wives, to take our daughters to see this so they can emulate that behavior? I don't know any mother that wants their daughters to behave like that. I don't know any women that want to behave like that. I'm sure they're out there because we've seen the videos that are abundant with the manosphere people, and I hope that they're a small minority of just not very bright people that are engaging in these high body count activities. I was really hoping that I could find something to like about this, and I just didn't. I was bored through a lot of it. I did not like any of the characters. My son absolutely hated the young girl who's like that plays the Maddie character from the True Grit analogy. He was really furious. He texted me the next day. He said, the more I think about this movie, with a few plot points in it, the more I think about this movie, the more angry I get. And I was like, wow, I didn't even give it that much thought, but apparently it bugged him a lot more than it did me. And he's not a DC fan. He's just like casual. I think he's seen maybe one Batman movie and two Superman movies. But yeah, I'm looking at this thing. This is James Gunn's idea with everything that he's put out. Peacemaker, Creature Commandos, Suicide Squad, and Superman. Like, there's nothing. I'm sick of James Gunn. I'm tired of him. I had the same Guardians of the Galaxy quirkiness, the same Mad Max reject bad guys from Road Warrior, but cosmic. They're like a cheap ripoff of the Reavers that Joss Whedon created in Firefly. There's nothing about this that had me. There's no sense of potential cost that could happen with this. It's really a bad movie. And if I'm David Ellison, I'm looking at this thing and saying, like, if this is one of the tent poles that I want to hold this thing up on, this is not the guy to do it. He's a quirky guy. It's like taking John Waters and putting him in charge of your DC brand.
Right. Well, it's like saying that you order lemon Parmesan one night and then somebody says, well, you like the lemon Parmesan, so every meal that you're going to have is going to be lemon Parmesan, even if it's a fruit salad. It's sickening at some point. The question I have to ask, again, I did not watch this movie, so you've made a reference to some women that are notable for all the wrong reasons. Are you saying that Supergirl is in that industry or that level of profligacy?
Well, it's not stated, but she's crowd surfing. She's drunk. She's going to planets with red suns so she can get drunk and party. Now, what does that mean when you get blackout drunk? What happens when you, if as the father of a daughter, if she were going away to college and going to a party and getting blackout drunk, I would be very, very concerned. That's not when we see things shifting, when we see society shifting away from bad behavior, we see that church attendance is up in a lot of places. There's less drug use now. There's less smoking now amongst the younger people. It seems the younger people are learning the lesson of the generation ahead of them and saying, I do not want to do these things. I want to have a better life. I want to be a little bit more classy, per se. And she just gives this idea that it's not implicitly stated, but it's certainly within the realm of possibility. Thank God they didn't have her. The only person she had woke up next to was Crypto. And I'm happy for that, at least.
Let me ask you guys this question. Open to anybody who wants to weigh in. I think partly what has caused this collapse and women not going to see it, I think Andy's onto something. I think people are actually, they're sick and tired of the anti-hero. They're sick and tired of these characters who are deeply, deeply flawed. And they're tired of moral ambiguity. I think we've come into a space now where audiences want what we saw with Project Hail Mary. They want Superman to be super. And James Gunn has based this DC on a weak Superman, a deeply flawed Supergirl, and all of this moral gray. Man, I think he's misread the times. And I think the studios have as well. I think they live inside these bubbles and they don't understand that what people really want right now, true heroes, real sacrifice, real good versus evil. And if it's hokey, that's okay. They want Cyclops, not Wolverine, maybe even. No, it's too far. It's too far. I won't say that. But guys, what do you think about it?
I actually would love a good Cyclops story, because Cyclops has not been done well on screen. Forgive, it's not James Marsden's fault, or Marsters.
No, he plays a great Cyclops. He's just got terrible material.
Right.
Lauren?
What they want is sincerity.
That's true too. Yeah.
People are tired of irony. They're tired of cynicism. They're tired of we call it Marvel humor or Joss Whedon humor. They're just sick to death of it. What they're looking for is actual sincerity and optimism. And we're in times where it's hard to be optimistic. I think that's part of why a lot of these writers write this way. But a lot of times it takes something to be inspirational and optimistic to pull people out of those doldrums and start having optimistic views, to try things, to push. And I think that's something that we're lacking in storytelling today. We need something aspirational.
Jonas, anything to add to that, Andy?
One thing that did bug me with this is she spends some amount of time being depowered in this on the Red Planet, and then she gets her powers back, and then she's out there. Now, the thing with Superman is, and by extension Supergirl, the slightest action would cause death. And she's out there slugging it away on these bandits or the brigands, whatever they're called. And then are we doing spoilers?
Who cares? It's a bad movie.
So she executes the bad guy at the end. She's a 23-year-old girl worried about the 12-year-old executing somebody. She's a 23-year-old girl executing somebody. My daughter's older than that. I don't want her executing somebody, no matter how bad he is. It's
with a focus on pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And every slug that she's hitting these people with would be fatal. She's super powerful. She's going to hit them. The literal body count that she has in this film is probably in the dozens, if not more. And she's kind of like, oh, well, they were bad guys. And
that's a great tagline. We're going to steal that from you, Andy. The literal body count. All right. Jonas, any final words on Supergirl and the fact that women have abandoned the franchise?
Well, I was actually thinking about this, and I was wondering, there's a song by the Guess Who that was later covered by Lenny Kravitz, and I think it actually holds really true. It's called American Woman.
Stay away from me.
Exactly. And that's what they did.
When you stick around for the entire video, it really does help the channel. And we're so appreciative of that, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine that you would stick around and hear everything we have to say. The studio is glistening because you're listening each and every day. If you're not yet subscribed, well, you should be. And click that like button. Until the next time, keep learning, keep growing,